Jacob Browne.
Thank you. My name is Jacob Browne, and I am the General Manager for the Relief Center at 2000 West 32nd Avenue. I'm not sure if any of the council members have attempted to cultivate marijuana in their homes. I'm just going to assume you haven't. It's not for the faint of heart. Your shopping list is going to include lights, nutrients, some form of growing medium, as well as the clones or seeds themselves. If you're lucky enough to avoid crop failure due to pests or mold, you're lucky to be having medical marijuana in a couple months. This is not a burden you want to put on people with debilitating illnesses. Many people would love to grow but simply cannot. They live in government housing or an apartment complex. They're too sick to care for a plant. They rely on compassionate, skilled caregivers for their medicine. As some of you know, the Department of Revenue has issued a rule that prevents medical marijuana centers such as us from assisting patients in the first 35 days after they receive the recommendation. It's essential that we have the ability to refer these patients to a caregiver that can present an affirmative defense and still serve the medicine. Additionally, language in House Bill 1284 prohibits us from selling medicine to caregivers and restricts delivery to homebound individuals. At its core, cultivating medical marijuana is no different than many home businesses legally operating in Denver currently. Residents are free to grow plants in their household or even brew a much more dangerous substance, alcohol, that is legal for some, illegal to others, with little to no regulation. Caregivers are protected under Colorado's Constitution and should be afforded the same rights as everyone else. While patients could still shop at medical marijuana centers, most caregivers operate with lower overhead, in turn allowing them to offer lower prices. This ban on caregivers immediately shuts down hundreds of these small businesses, as well as decreases the amount of money that's spent in Denver in a hard economy, and encourages patients to look outside the city to obtain their medicine. This bill fails morally as well as fiscally. The idea that this is a public safety issue is a farce. There is yet to be a single fire due to electrical issues at a caregiver's residence. Damage from mold is overstated and generally only affects the grow itself. Asking patients who lack any training to grow their own medical marijuana, however, could invite actual danger into the community. If medical marijuana is so dangerous, leave it in the hands of professionals. As I've stated in my emails to the councils, plant limits don't solve any of these harms. Patients will learn how to start topping plants, making them larger, or grafting strains together so they share a root structure, making enforcement difficult. I urge the council to do two things this evening. First, reject this bill in favor of state-regulated caregiver limits, and second, enact space restrictions, if you must, instead of plant limits per the recommendation of Robert Chase. Please remember that your vote this evening directly impacts the lives of sick and dying people. These are our neighbors, our friends, and our family. Simply picking an arbitrary number of plants is an insult to them. Additionally, on behalf of Coloradans for Medical Marijuana Regulation, I'd like to present a little petition that they had sent around. I guess that this dramatically outweighs the number of complaints that you've received. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Browne.